Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So let me just start by saying I'm sorry about how this sounds, but I promise after the intro of this video, the sound will be a lot better. I won't get into the story about where the mic is, nobody cares. But yeah, I promise. It may not sound great now, but it will once you go through the entire video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about one of the most important factors when it comes to property investing, and that is choosing the right area. So we have just completed a BRR project, so buy, refurb, refinance, and the property that we acquired was actually below market value, which allowed us to really create a lot of value. And then when it came to refinancing, is putting a lot of money out. But that's for a separate video. Today's purpose is talking about how you choose the right investment area, and there's also a deal analyzer that we use in order to know whether this is going to be a good investment or not. You know, I have been speaking to a lot of people where they are asking questions such as, how do they choose the right investment area? So we're going to focus on some of the factors and things you should be considering when picking your investment area. So my partner and I, we have successfully grown our property portfolio to over £1 million in under 2 years. And on this channel, we're essentially documenting our journey to financial freedom through property. We'll also talk about, having the right mindset and property education generally. So if that's something that you're interested in, feel free to subscribe to make sure you don't miss any time we upload a video. Also, understanding your tenant profile is really key. So is it an area filled with students or professionals? What kind of tenant actually do you want to have in your property? Because each of these groups have different needs. So what will suit a family will be different what suits students. So areas around universities or hospitals, they tend to obviously have higher demand and rental yields. And that obviously means starting with the most common tools like Rightmove, Zoopla, and let's just get into an example of one of them. So another tool that I have come across is this Telegraph buy-to-let market tracker, which really allows you to search by area or by your budget. Now, this is something new that I've come across, to be honest, and I do think it's quite useful just to give you that snapshot view of where to invest in property for the best rental yields and the highest demands, and how much profit you could potentially make. You can either search by area or you can do it by selecting your budget. And what I will say is you would have to sign up to the Telegraph, and they do give you an option to have it for 3 months for free, and then after that you would be charged. So if you didn't want to be charged, you would have to cancel before that time. So just be aware of that. Now, if your budget is below 150,000, you can say, that's your budget, and it has automatically populated results based on the highest yield. So the lowest, interestingly so far, is Cope. And also you can see on the maps here that it has highlighted it as well. Now, as you can see, the key here at the bottom shows you the yields by color coding. So darkest blue is highest, whereas the lightest shade of blue is the lowest. So you can see some areas here now. Okay, so we have invested in Northeast Lincolnshire, interested on 7% yield. But we are also considering going to HMOs now. So I would probably be taking a look at where we can potentially get higher returns on our investment. And obviously with HMO, that also helps with increasing their cash flow. Okay, so I'll click into North Lancashire here, which I believe is this one. Yes. So monthly rent around £686, house price 124k. Actually, what I'd want to know is maybe time to rent. So if we just came out of this and took a look at it at a high level, okay, you will see that you have some darker blue areas really around this area, and also here, so Durham, which I think is quite handy. And what I would do is then probably, so if I clicked into this, go to Rightmove to then do some comparisons. And we'll go to Rightmove now to show you how you can also take a look at Rightmove to see if the property would be a good investment, and then go to your deal analyzer to really analyze those figures before you decide to, put an offer in or decide to go for a viewing, making sure that it's worth your while. Depending on where you are located in the UK, these are really long drives, and we've definitely been through that. We're doing 3.5 hour drives on a weekly basis to view properties. So with Rightmove, it has data on asking prices, sold prices, and rental yields in the neighbourhood across the UK. And some of its key features is, price trends, market demand, and neighbourhood statistics. So if we went with the same postcode and it's for sale, and I did 1/4 of a mile, and I include under offer or so subject to contract, and let's say houses, you want to look at sold properties as well, because then you would know what people are actually paying. So it's realistic data. So if we look at this one, so it says £160,000, so offers in excess of. Now, if I said I wanted to buy this property to lowest price, just as an example. Now, this one has been sold subject to contract and is for sale by auction. It was a guide price, 42,000. Now, the guide price literally is just that. But what you would want to do is take a look at properties that have been sold in that area. You do that by scrolling down, and you would see recently sold and under offer. And you would see, some of them are going for 74,000, 89,000. You also want to make sure you're doing like-for-like comparisons. So this is for 3-bed properties, terrace houses. If I quickly showed you to plug in some of these numbers in a deal analyzer. So we have this at £42,000, but let's say you want to just do a quick comparison to know if this is a good buy or not, or if you were going to go to auction, what should it be at? So this is a Excel that we have put together ourselves, so my partner and I. We have some assumptions here and how to use me, but I won't bore you with that now. What we will focus on is the input sheet. You can see there's some numbers here already. Ignore that, it's from a previous deal that we started to look at, and then I just started to play on the numbers. So these are not accurate figures at all. So let's say the purchase price is 70,000. Your sourcing fee is 0 because you sourced this and you found this yourself. Say your broker fee is $850. We're just going to leave some of these numbers that are in here because you can find broker fees for $850. Solicitors and conveyance fees is $1,400. We have the buyer evaluation surveyor fee for £300, building insurance, and then if it's a property that you were going to do a refurb on, so let's say your refurb cost is £20,000. Holding cost is just, null period, that's what you're accounting for that. The term of the refurb is 12 months, but what I would say is 6 months in this case. This was based originally on a bridge, so we ignore that. So what we'll put, interest rate of say 5%. As I'm changing these numbers, you would see here, this is changing. So if I just went back, you would see that this is now minus £3,085. If I changed it again to 5%, see that it has reduced to minus 1,900. The contingency of the refurb, 10%, usually as a rule of thumb. Then we have any miscellaneous fees for the refurb. Now, comparables, and when we say comparables, this essentially means what are some of the houses that were sold in the area recently. So what I'll do is actually go to view all recently sold, and I'll report most recent ones. So maybe in the last 2 years, this area it only has one, and it's 74,000. So maybe I would do last 5 years, just for the purpose of illustrating the example. Let's just pick 3 random numbers. So we have 74,950, 950 is one. Let's put just 100. Let's put 100. The next one, maybe 75. For the next one, 79,850. And let's go for 69. Already this is not looking great, is it? So we have mortgage rates for 5%, agency fees. This is if you were renting out to an agency and you didn't want to be involved with property management side of things. Then we have your landlord's insurance, your rental contingency. So just saving some money aside for any things that need to be fixed in the property. Now, this is all based on bridge and loan. If you were to take out a bridge and loan to buy this property, now you have the interest rate 1.33, which has been the case for one of the bridges that we've worked with, in the 90% loan to value, and the loan term at 12 months, but you never really want to use the 12 months. So this is the worst case scenario. If I change it to 6 months, you'll see that the number over here, it reduced. Here's your arrangement fee, administration fee. We've kept that at 0 because I don't believe we had one at the time. So we'll leave that at the same. these are all the other fees that are broken down here. So this refinance import. So this is at the point that you probably want to refinance to take out your money. There's some figures there. We are not doing that on this occasion. So it's just going to be. And then we have some comparables for the rent. I would use the websites such as, home.co.uk, where you can actually see what some good rentals are for that area, or Rightmove. We can stick with Rightmove. So I would go to rent and put in the same maximum of 3-bed. We want to find out how much 3-bed properties are going for in terms of rental. And I did just a quarter of a mile. So only one has come out, so £895. What I'll do is increase that. And this is a 1-bed, so let me do minimum 3 beds as well. So we have 750, 925, 750. Now this 925 semi-detached, so really I wouldn't really put that into my comparable, and it's a new home. I would probably be looking at something more like to like for what we found here. Let's just put 720. So that's the rental comparables. So on the right hand side, you can see the purchase price. The cash required to do a buy refurbish refinance to get investor funds upfront is 48,000. That's what you would need. And this will be the cash required if you were doing a refurb. Now here it's your net profit, and the net profit for cash if you're going to do a refurb, it's minus 37,000. But what this means is that it's the money tied in. So it's not really a minus. It's just the money that is being kept in the property, because this is based on a buy refurb refinance and you holding, so you keeping the property. If you were going to sell it, so if flip it, then this would be money coming to you. So just wanted to make that clear, and we put that in as red just to maintain a conservative approach to our analysis. Going back to Rightmove, also it offers you a house price index. So you have like regional trends here, essentially showing you, if there's been an increase in previous month or whether there's a decrease from the previous month. And it has that snapshot view across the UK. So this can be just give you an insight as to what parts of the UK that you'll be looking to invest in, and what the trends are like around the average asking price, the trends. London trends, if you specifically want to focus on London, what the affordability trends are that's for first time buyers, that is, but we're talking from more an investment perspective. And they have articles here to just give you some insights to different areas that you may be considering investing in property. So also another place is the Land Registry, so the UK House Price Index. So what it does essentially, it offers official UK government data on property price trends. Some of the key features, it's monthly updates on house prices, average price by the region, and historical data. Now, if we went to UK Price Index for August 2024, essentially here's the monthly report showing what the data for average house prices for England. So it's here, and here just gives you some headline statistics for August 2024. And so I'll go straight to access the data, and you can use their tool, and literally you can search the UK House Price Index, and this is all the data here. So you will then just go into this, search the location, let's say by local authorities, and you zoomed in. Let's just say we picked on East Cambridgeshire, and it gives you the graph table. The property types is you can download it or compare it with another location. Now you can also further break it down to detached houses, or if it was just terrace houses, for example. So these are the figures that you would see to know actually what you're thinking about, what your budget is for your first one. If you need something that's a lot lower, so we're talking under 100k, then you would need to think about checking other areas as well. So another tool that you can use in order to pick your investment area is Landlord. I think it's free for the first few checks that you want to do, but then I think they then invite you to become a part of their platform. And we are currently a paying member, but we don't partner with them or anything like that. This is just us as regular users using it. I won't go into too much detail on this. Maybe I'll do a separate video on how you can use their property sourcing tab to look through, but very quickly you can see you have have on market listings here, which is very basic. So it's just literally the properties that have come to the market that they have access to. We have auctions, which is obviously an avenue for you to consider if you want to start with buying properties at auction, if you have the money readily available. And actually, even if you don't, you can use a bridge loan, which they offer here as well. They have that service. So repossessed properties. So you can essentially put in a postcode here and it will bring up any properties that have been repossessed. Then it says plus 40 miles. So it will search the postcode plus 40 miles. And as you can see, it has populated some and it gives you the time, so how long the property has been on the market for. And then actually a quick snapshot of the rental analysis. So what your annual cash flow would be on a net basis, your return on capital deployed, and what your profit would be. Now you would need to obviously look into this and potentially adjust it here, which you can do, but you would do this against going to Rightmove to do a comparison. I did say at the top of this that I wasn't going to go into a lot of detail, but if you wanted a video on that, I would be happy to do that.